So, there's a new Empulse map. How is it? Well, it's actually pretty good. In my experience, this larger map allows for a bit more skill expression when it comes to movement, and a bit more uniqueness when it comes to movement, compared to smaller maps where people seem to gravitate towards the same routes on every single spawn. The map also has a lot of cubbies and inside areas, which at first I kinda worried it would lead to people adopting an annoying and a campy playstyle, but it actually didn't. Sure, there are a lot of cubbies, but a lot of them have many windows and openings in the sides and top, which allow for outplayability in those areas and discourages people from just camping in them. Another issue I was worried would be present, but really just wasn't, was the game feeling too slow. I can't really pinpoint exactly why this wasn't an issue, but from my experience the game still feels very fast-paced and exciting. Overall, from a pub/casual style of play, this map does seem very solid, and I would love to see it in unranked. The reason I specifically say in unranked and not in ranked play is because I have some concerns on how this map would play out in competitive. With only 4 players on the map compared to 6, the slower gameplay issue might become a lot more prevalent. There would also be a lot of potential off angles and crossfire points, which could potentially be a good thing and allow for more skill expression, but I fear it would clash with the playstyles people have already developed on the maps we already have. Not to mention that most of the players you will run into in ranked are just straight up bots, and trying to form any sort of teamwork from that would be an absolute nightmare. I also want to address the look and the art style of this map. I'm not really one to care about how a game looks, but I will say this map looks very bland. I know the map is in the experimental playlist, so I'm sure it's not completely finished in terms of fine details, but a lot of people do really care about the graphics in this game, and I feel like this map in its current state just won't cut it. Some suggestions I do have in terms of the actual design of the map would be to make it a bit higher up. Since a lot of maps in this game are raised above the ground / in the sky, this map being very low to the ground, or I guess water I should say, is very awkward. There are many times I would try a route where I would go off the edge of the map, or even just try to take a gunfight off the edge of the map, and I would end up falling off and dying because I just didn't have time to jetpack up or grapple out. This may have been an intentional design, but in my opinion it kinda just limits the movement and off-angle potential and just limits skill expression in general. I also feel like the third point in control, aka the overtime point, is kind of in a weird spot. While playing, I struggled a lot trying to take control of this point, even though the opponents I was playing against really just weren't that good. I feel like this point may be a little bit too easy to hold and a bit too frustrating to try to retake, which is another reason why this map may not be the best for comp. I feel like they should definitely move it somewhere else, or maybe even try to wrap it around the center satellite. They should also look into raising the max height on the map. This map seems to have a lot of opportunity for verticality, but the max height seems a bit too low for that to really shine. And also, quick note real quick. Why are these wire things hard objects? They look like I should be able to go through them, and they're kind of just in the way, so I always assume I can go through them, and then I end up smashing just straight into them. I know I did it at least once in the game I'm showing on screen, and it has happened to me so many times in other games too. Maybe this is just some weird mental roadblock for me, but I can't be the only one who thinks I should be able to go through these. One more rant I feel like I need to go on before this video is over is that god-awful sniper. Respectfully, I don't know how 1047 tested this gun and thought, yeah, this is something that's both fun to play with and against. What a great addition this would be to our game. Thankfully, I don't think it happens much in the game I used for this video, but oh my god, I swear every other game there's just some loser standing in a corner two-tapping people across the map. Like seriously, this gun needs an emergency patch because it's ruining my gameplay experience. Like this clip I'm showing on screen is a great example of what I'm talking about. Bro actually just stands there in one spot on the bridge and gets 5 headshots back to back to back. And he's actually using skill and aim to do it. There are some people who sit in a corner like I was talking about earlier and do absolutely nothing but two-tap with the sniper rifle thinking that they're so cool. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the new map. Overall, I think it has a very solid base design, and with some slight tweaks to the design as well as some graphics improvements, I think this map will be a great addition to Unranked, and I would love to see some testing in 4v4 on the map after those changes are made. However, these are obviously just my opinions and the opinions of one person, so feel free to share your own ideas in the comments and in your own posts. Anyway, see ya.